Hello, my name is Ricky Eberhart, and this will be a report and evaluation of my group leading experience. On Tuesday, May 1st, 2018 at 7 p.m., I had the opportunity of leading a men's group meeting. Attendance was above average with about 6 men, all members of my church, including my pastor, but excluding myself and the co-leader, so overall it made about 8 men. Typically, the leader discusses spirituality and scripture, and it's ultimately a men's Bible study where we dive into the word and we explore how we can grow spiritually, how we can grow our faith, and how we can grow our ministry. I've been a part of this group for about 2 years now as solely a member, and I've recently been promoted as the assistant leader. So this was a great opportunity for me to explore as the head leader and being in charge of this group. So with the leading experience, I was able to take the group in a different direction and be more practical than spiritual. Now, there's always going to be a spiritual element because that is what the group is based on. But I wanted to be practical because men also need an environment where they can be open, where they can be themselves, and where they can share things that they can't share with anyone else. So for this meeting, I opened it with prayer. Because what we always do, we set the foundation, to set the scene, and set the atmosphere. Following prayer, I began with rounds, a comment round, in order for each man to have the opportunity to talk about his week and bring something to the group that will give us a direction. Now, typically, we don't plan this group. We don't come in with a set outline, a set schedule. It's all about open discussion. So having the rounds helps us to direct the topic and to find a topic that will apply to every man. So as I watched each man and I watched them relate to each other and I watched them talk to each other as we had the opening rounds, I was able to summarize and to pull out a topic that would fit for all the men. And that topic was humility. We discussed how humility is about respect and how humility is about seeing each other as equals. Now, we did pull from the scripture, and we came from 1 Peter 5:7-9, where the Bible talks about being equal and sharing in each other's struggles. And so that really helped us to then take that and apply it to real life to understand relationships and understand how do we respond in the workplace, how do we respond at home, and how do we respond with our friends in relation to being more humble. And so the men were able to talk to each other and openly discuss what humility means to them and what relationships they can improve upon using humility and humble principles, especially in a world where we pride success and we pride glory and it's a dog eat dog world. So that was very helpful, and the men really responded well to each other. There was a great energy in the room. And it had a lot to do with the fact that all the men who were there are the men who attend the meeting frequently. And so there was a lot of energy and a lot of responding and reflecting and talking to each other and getting something and being able to use what one person said and taking it and applying it to your own. As the meeting wound down, I was able to address all the topics and all of their ideas and all of their advice, and then go through and have another set of rounds as we closed to see what each man could take from the meeting and apply to the rest of their week. Once we made it through the rounds and we concluded the meeting, I also ended with prayer. Overall, I feel like it was a good meeting, and there were a few struggles, and I struggled as a leader because it was my first time, it was my first experience. But overall, it was a good one. They responded well to me, even though they were hesitant because I am the youngest. I'm the youngest member of the group, so they were hesitant to see me as a leader, but they also see my potential, and I understood that. But we really came together, and I do know that I was challenged mentally and spiritually, and I found myself struggling to find my words and struggling to make my voice heard in the group because I just didn't know how to cut them off and where to cut them off. And so I ended up being more of a facilitator than I did leading the group. And so that's something that I can take away from this experience and grow into a future leading experience. Because one specific example, there was a gentleman who got off on the topic of bass fishing, And I understood that he went from humility to patience, but patience wasn't the topic at hand. Humility was the topic. And so I had to find a way, and I struggled to find a way to bring him back to humility and refocus the group. I was finally able to do that, but it was a challenge for me. So I definitely enjoyed the experience, and I feel like I have grown more as a leader. So in conclusion, it was a great experience. I definitely learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about this group, and I feel like I'm taking it in a different direction. I think that this new direction will be appropriate for this group and appropriate for the men to grow stronger and to be more open and be able to be more vulnerable and to learn how to express themselves in their daily lives and in their daily relationships. I believe that a new perspective will open doors to break down walls that can help us to grow stronger together and grow stronger as men. Thank you.